Right there. Him.
I've been chasing these dreams, falling down my team. I make bread while I sleep. I don't stress, I just breathe. Being broke ain't my thing. I've been chasing these dreams.
What's going on, friends? Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. The Cleveland Browns have named their starting quarterback for Game 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals, and they named Joe Flacco over Shedeur Sanders. Me personally, I think Shedeur has been the best quarterback in the Cleveland Browns room since Shedeur has been there. Shedeur Sanders has outperformed each quarterback at rookie minicamp, OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason game. Against the Carolina Panthers, Shedeur Sanders dominated as a quarterback. Now, I understand what most of you had told me before. Joe Flacco is a veteran quarterback. He's been playing for 16 years. He's familiar with the Cleveland Browns system, the offensive plays, and he's been a Super Bowl winning quarterback and a MVP. I get that. But I'm remembering Joe Flacco from when he played at the Indianapolis Colts. I remember Joe Flacco even when he played for the Cleveland Browns. He did good starting off. But at the end, Joe Flacco fell off. So when you look at Joe Flacco and his skill set that he brings to the table, he's just not going to be able to get out of the way of a defender that's coming to sack him. Because that's what people do when you're playing football. You got an offensive side and you got a defensive side. The defense is coming for the quarterback. Joe Flacco is not mobile enough to get away, to get off to his second read when it comes to coming to the line of scrimmage and going to his progression when a blitz is on his way. He just don't have those skill sets anymore. He's limited. He's 40 years old. I don't know what went on behind the scene. I don't know what Shedeur has been doing behind the scene because I'm not in the building. But for as the eye test, minicamp, training camp, pre-games, Shedeur Sanders is lighting them up, y'all. He just is. I don't know how far he is in the playbook. I can't answer that. But no way in the world that I would have named Joe Flacco over Shedeur Sanders. I just wouldn't have went that route. I didn't expect them to go that route. I'm on record for him cutting Joe Flacco, as far as I'm concerned. But we're going to see how this is going to continue to play out. And what's next for Shedeur Sanders? What's next? They don't name Joe Flacco QB1 for Game 1. Where will Shedeur Sanders be at on this depth chart? That's important to me. But I ran across a video that is interesting, and I like what he said. Let's listen to a CBS analyst as he talks about Shedeur Sanders and this quarterback room for the Cleveland Browns.
If you want to be a competitor, go out there and compete. Competitors don't throw pick sixes in a situation where it was, second down, you could throw the ball away, live to play another down. And you have to go out there and compete in a practice. You know, it was kind of a weird quote, but that's what happens when you're so robotic and not genuine. You go to coaches' cliches, you go to cliches that you hang on, and that's what happened. He got caught up in the situation, but I don't think he meant it based on how he was responding to that interview because he was clearly uncomfortable. I think Shedeur Sanders is the big winner here. The reason why is because where he excels is where he has always excelled, going back to his tape at Colorado, inside the red zone versus situational pressure versus pressure of the defense. And once that first read was taken away from Dillon Gabriel, you saw him hold the football and eat 2 sacks. Now, the biggest loser, Kenny Pickett. Yep. What Gabriel showed out there today was that his floor is Kenny Pickett. Worse, you know that both of these quarterbacks, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, can give you Kenny Pickett level play as rookies. I'm starting to believe that Kevin Stefanski cares more about how his plays look on the whiteboard as opposed to how they're actually run out there on the field.
Once again, that's a CBS analyst talking about Shedeur Sanders and the quarterback room with the Cleveland Browns. It seemed like that the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, cared more about his whiteboard than the play on the field. And that's exactly how I see it. There's no way that Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, nor Dylan Gabriel have outperformed Shedeur Sanders so far. Either they are sticking with their draft board, Dylan Gabriel as a 3rd round draft pick, and Shedeur Sanders is a 5th round draft pick. Even they going by that. But hey, if they are going by that and not the play on the field, they will not win many games this year. Because, listen, hear me on this, Cleveland Brown has a better team than most people want to give them credit for. They have some good pieces on this team. They need a quarterback that can give them that, and Shedeur give it to them. They need something extra that can make that offense pop. And Shedeur have displayed it that he's the quarterback for the job. Only thing I'm saying is Shedeur Sanders should have been named QB1 for the first game of the season and beyond. He's their franchise quarterback. I don't know what Kevin Stefanski got going on. I don't know what the organization got going on. But far as I'm concerned, Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback on the team. W12 in the chat for Shedeur Sanders. W12 in the chat for Shedeur Sanders. You watching another episode of Sports Talk with B. Watts. I'm your host, Bernard Watts. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you don't mind. And if you would like to support the broadcast in any kind of way, Cash App, Super Chat, join the membership. Anything that you do will be highly appreciated. Once again, thank you for watching another episode of Sports Talk with B. Watts. I'll see you live. I got a live show at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The #1 chat group on YouTube. Tune in tonight and be a part of the show. Peace.
In all seriousness, do you know who the quarterback's going to be? I mean, do you have an idea?
After conversations, I do have an idea.
Okay. Do you like the idea?
I like it enough to be here smiling in front of you because I think we have a good chance of that happening and making the most out of it.
Can you tell us who it is, Miles?
You know I can't do that.